Good Monday evening, everyone. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. I want to thank you so much for being here. Today is Monday, December 4th. Okay, so this is a Dave Ramsey. I'm worried about my boyfriend's lack of ambition. You know, the one thing about having a channel like this, we will never, ever run out of content. It doesn't matter if we have to watch videos from 10 years ago because we can learn it. Okay, this is from 6 years ago, or if we're watching it from a call that happened just last week or even earlier in the day. Okay, so we're going to do this one. I'm worried about my boyfriend's lack of ambition. And you may think, well, what does ambition have to do with debt or consumer debt or student loans or anything like that? It has everything to do with it, because clearly lack of ambition is going to play a big role, potentially, in the type of partner this person is going to meet. So that's what we're going to do it on. And also, I decided just for fun that from time to time we can shoot the breeze afterwards for those who want to stick around after the reaction and do what I now call the after chat. Okay, so today's after chat, after the reaction, for those who want to stick around, American Express keeps sending me this unlock the platinum experience. This is probably I would say they send this to me at least once a week, about once a week. This is like the 8th one I've gotten, and I got it ever since my credit score like skyrocketed, okay, to well above 800. I think I looked and it was like 820. Okay. So I thought, you know what, instead of throwing this away, because I keep throwing them away, I thought, hey, you know what, I'll share it with my viewers. So those who want to stick around for the after chat, we'll open this up and look at the American Express unlock the platinum experience and why we don't fall for crap like this after we become smarter about debt. Okay, but that's just for fun. So stick around for the after chat if you would like to. If you just want the reaction, I understand that too. Okay, all right. So I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit Chat. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna minimize the screen. And don't forget your tea. I got my beverage. Let's do this.
Priscilla is
Hi,
with us in
Priscilla.
Orlando. Hi, Priscilla. How are you?
Hi, Dave. It's an honor to speak to you. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Absolutely. How can I help?
All right. So I'm a bit conflicted right now, and I kind of would like your wisdom on this. I've been dating a really strong Christian man for about 7 months, and engagement is kind of on the table.
What? 7 months engagement is on the table and you're calling into the Ramsey show? And the title is Boyfriend's Lack of Ambition. Ooh, this could be good. This could be drink straw good. All right, hold on.
But my confliction is his financial status, and I don't know if I'm being a little too critical about the situation, or should I concentrate more on his spiritual walk, and then, I don't know.
There's nothing like walking in the spirit broke together. Living in poverty together. Nothing like walking the spirit hand in hand. Remember what I have told you. Now that I was just being humorous, so guys, don't take it too seriously, okay? I have told you before, and I will say it again. Many of our financial ills, our woes, our problems, who causes them? We cause them. And how do we cause them? By the decisions we make. And I believe I even said recently, and that includes the people we choose to make those decisions with. Family, friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, life partners, whatever, okay? The people we choose. And I believe I even said earlier, that we have the signs in front of us. I think I said that just like in a video the other day. The signs are in front of us. In other words, we don't hook up with the wrong person completely blind to who they really are. I'm not saying it never happens, but I think most of the time we already know. The signs are already there. But we choose to ignore them. We choose to minimize them because we want so much for the dream to be true. And if we have to face the truth of what we're actually looking at, that kills the dream, and we don't want our dreams killed. She already knows, and we have been in this 40 seconds. 40 seconds. And we know that she's aware that there's a problem. But the question then becomes, will she listen to her gut instinct, or is she going to take that spiritual walk? And by the way, just for the record, I was baptized in the Methodist Church, and that's wonderful and all of that. But spiritual and money, spirit does not pay the bills. Okay, just keep that in mind.
Okay.
So basically, I make double what he makes, and I'm almost out of debt. I'm about to pay my car off, and I just have my student loan left.
What do you make?
And
What do you make?
How much is the student loan?
I make take home monthly is a little over $4,000, and he is at.
Whoops.
Okay, so you're making like $65,000 a year, and he's making like 30.
Yeah.
Okay, and what do you do?
Radiation therapist.
And what does he do?
He's a biller.
A biller. He works in an accounting department.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
He just bills jobs for a company.
Okay.
So yeah.
And how old is he?
He's 36.
And how old are you?
And I'm 32.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, if she's in love with a guy who makes $30,000 a year, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But apparently in her case there is something wrong about that, because look at the title, lack of ambition. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but we will continue on with their story.
So your question is what then?
I don't know if I'm concentrating. I feel like it's really his financial status. I'm concentrating too much on it, and I'm really hardcore in what you believe in what you do, and I've been through FU, and so I've been trying to talk to him and like maybe get better jobs, but he's very content and very comfortable. And
let's pause. Everybody pause. He's in his 30s, okay? He's 36. I really need a pad of paper here. He's 36. She's 32. I have this belief, I'm 56. You can't change people after a certain age. They simply are who they are. You cannot change them. And she is showing her naivety if she thinks, well, he's not very driven. Those of us who are experienced, maybe not even so experienced, we can see where this is going. She's thinking, well, she's really motivated. She makes around $65,000 a year. He makes $30,000 a year. He's not that motivated. But if I marry him, then maybe, before I marry him, I can egg him on to be more motivated. No, you can't. He's a grown man. He's 36. He's 4 years to 40. If he wasn't motivated now, not that he won't ever be, but this is the time in his life, he's totally happy. A woman ain't going to change that.
I don't know if this is a huge red flag.
Yes. Nodding head. Big red flag. And you know why it's a red flag? Because it matters to her. That's why it's a red flag. We have to remember that red flags aren't the same red flags for everybody. For some people, a red flag is smoking. For other people, it's not a big deal. Smoke, don't smoke, whatever. So we have to remember when we talk about red flags, it's kind of like what I've said before, I think I said it just the other night. When it comes to money, if how you're spending money is harming you, it's hurting you, then that's not a good way to spend money. But for somebody else, spending money like that might be just fine. Okay? I lease a car. I have no issues, no problems at all leasing a car. No secret if you've, probably watched 3 videos on my channel. I have no problem. I meet within the miles, ridiculously, in fact. I live 6 miles from work. I drive anywhere I want to go. I can drive in state, out of state. I don't even look at the miles on my car. It fits my life. It does me no harm. But for somebody else, leasing a car might cause harm. It might cause over the mile limits. It might not give them the miles that they need to get around town, take kids, yada, yada. So technically, is it a red flag just because she makes 65 and he makes 30? No red flags. It's fine. If the guy makes, I don't really care who makes more or less. Okay. But is it a red flag if she's like, I'm concerned about it? If it's a red flag to her, then yes, it's a red flag. It would be a red flag to me.
And, debt-wise, he's got $65,000 in the student loan. And
I would like to walk back everything I just said. Yes, it's a red flag. Hey, I was trying really hard to get the benefit of the doubt here, okay? Until she said 65,000 student loans, it makes 30,000 a year. But, oh my God. Hey, I will admit when I'm wrong. So I'm going to walk back everything I just said, that he's not a red flag. Yes, this is a big red flag waving. He has $65K in student loans and he makes $30,000 a year. It's not even the $65K. Remember, money is all about its proportion, income to debt, all of that stuff. So yeah, sweetheart. This is what's her name? Oh, it doesn't have her name here. So Priscilla, yeah, this relationship's a red flag.
And 12,000 in car, and I will have about 12,000 left. And
so what you're telling me is,
and debt wise, he's got 65,000 in the student loan and 12,000 in car, and I will have about 12,000 left. And
so what you're telling me is,
but don't forget, he's walking in the spirit of the Lord. I tried to say that with a straight face. Oh, forgive me. Oh, Lord.
I disagree with your analysis that you're worried about the financial status. I think you're worried about his lack of ambition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that too is a red flag too. And
because if he was making this, but he was a go-getter and he was willing to grind and hustle, and he had like 17 plans to better himself, and he was going to be diligent, and he was going to be excellent, and he was going to go into the marketplace and provide for his family and scratch and claw, you wouldn't care if he was making 30.
Instead, he's sitting on the couch eating taquitos. No, eating Takis. He's sitting on the couch, licking his lips, eating Takis. I don't really know if he's doing that, but here's the bottom line. She's obviously driven, okay? He's not so driven. And you know what? Here's the thing, people. It is okay to not be driven. Not the whole world has to, not everybody needs to be highly motivated to, get the top job, make the top pay. It's okay to not be driven, but you then have to ask yourself, what are your living options going to be? What are your financial options? Who are the options you're going to have for your partner? Okay. So as long as you can accept the consequences of your desire not to be driven, there's really technically nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a guy that says, I want to make $30,000 a year. And if you divide that, what is that? It's like $2,000 a month. If that, oh my God, that's, yeah. Okay. If it's okay if he doesn't want to be driven, but he probably should not expect to land, a woman who's highly driven, which is why this woman, Priscilla, who's highly driven, needs to tread very carefully. Okay. In who she chooses as a partner. Otherwise she risks being used.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you think he's probably going to be making 30 10 years from now and 20 years from now, because he really just doesn't give a rip.
He's almost 46.
Yeah, and he's content, and I think it's his spiritual walk, and he's very strong.
I'm sorry. My spiritual walking. Sorry, it's my lip gloss. My spiritual walking. Even though my life was in shambles in my 20s, I had my crap together enough by early mid-30s. Okay, I had my crap together enough by mid-30s to know that, you can walk in the spirit of the Lord and all that, but he who is not willing to help himself, okay? You ever know those people sometimes that will claim that God will take care of everything and they have to do nothing? You ever know somebody like that? We all do, okay? Oh, well, God's just going to take care of all my needs, but I don't need to go get a second job. I don't need to try harder at work. I don't need to do anything. God's simply going to take care of it. And then 10 years later, they're no further along than where they were 10 years earlier. I know somebody like that.
Contentment and ambition are not on the same spectrum.
Yeah.
In terms of spiritual contentment. Okay, you can be spiritually a content person and yet still be striving for excellence and diligence.
Mm-hmm.
At a job that perhaps pays more than $30,000 a year if you're 36. Again, it's not that he's 36 and makes $30,000 a year. That's really not the problem. If his life is happy, then let him live his best life. But if you are more driven, then you really shouldn't expect to hook up with someone who's less driven and think you're going to change them. That's really where the problem is. If a guy's 30 and wants to make 30,000 a year and he's happy, live your best life, bro.
Still have an ambition and still have initiative and those kinds of things. And so I'm going to give you a little more credit because you kind of set this up like you're a snob, and I don't think you're a snob. I think
I never got the single impression she was a snob, not even a little. Where'd Ramsey get that idea? I didn't get that idea at all. I didn't get it in her tone or anything else.
you're worried about not his money, but you're worried about his ambition and his initiative.
Because ambition and initiative are not so indirect links to money. And it's not the money she's looking at, but it's lifestyle. Hey, folks, let's face it. One of the things that scared me so much about having a $110,000 loan was that I was going to retire with it. I was very, very nervous, more than I probably ever let the people around me know. Okay. I was very, very concerned with carrying a $110,000 loan into retirement. I was concerned with even carrying it into my 60s. It was originally supposed to be a 25-year payment from the ages of approximately 38 to 62, which was only going to give me 5 years to save, a liquid cash to go with a teacher retirement, to go with, Social Security. I was very concerned about that. One of the things, and it's just a matter of fact, that I was concerned about is, would I be seen as a viable partner to somebody if I'm carrying this huge debt? Would somebody still, it's just the realities of it. Would somebody hook up with a woman who had $110,000 in student loans going into her retirement? Would she still be seen as desirable? Now we can all sit there and go, oh yeah, money doesn't matter. No. The older you get, okay, and I started planning at the age of 34. So he's 36. I had already mapped out what I was going to start doing for a career, because I knew if I didn't have my act together by the time I was in my late 30s, I knew I was going to be in serious financial trouble. I knew this because I knew that the average retirement pension or the average retirement years you needed to save, I knew was close to 30. Okay, 20 just wasn't enough. So I knew 25 to 30 years, and I just did the math and told myself by 38, Carrie, you got to figure this out, and you have to start working towards it. Well, I got it. My birthday's on July 4th. I turned 38 in 2006. I landed my teaching job. I believe it was about a week before I turned 38 and started teaching that year. And here I am 18 years later. I planned it. It wasn't an accident. So what she's looking at, Dave can say, well, it's not about money. To a certain extent it is. It's what type of life are we going to have? Are we going to struggle because I've got a man baby at home, that I know another child that I got to take care of? Is he gonna be motivated enough? If she wants to be a mom, is her partner going to be motivated enough to go get a second job? So indirectly, and I've heard people say it, I've read it many, many times. In some ways, relationships, as much as it's about love and the spiritual walk, okay, it's also about business, and that was something, and being respectful of that, okay. I could not, blame a guy if he had said to me, Carrie, $110,000 is a lot, and as Dave was just saying, it's not even the income that he makes, but is he driven? And if he's not driven to improve that, is that something she wants to carry?
Yeah, our family, if I were to get married to him. So I'm so paranoid when it comes to funds and financial status, and I worked so hard to where I've gotten, and I'm just so nervous.
Yeah.
So.
I think 7 months is too early to be talking about marriage. For a lot of people, not everybody. Hey, there are people, well, my wife and I, we got married, 2 weeks after we met, and here we are 50 years later, happy in bliss. Okay. All right. Those are the outliers. Okay.
So,
well, I'm not. I would not walk away from someone based on financial status.
No, neither would I. Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever. Yeah. But I would walk away from someone if you don't think they are going, if you don't think he's got enough ambition to pull himself up and go do something else over time.
Yeah.
And the scary part is he's 36. So time is ticking. Time is already passed. He's not 26 and we're like, okay, maybe over time. Okay. He's 36. All right. At 36, I was busy getting my second master's degree, digging myself into a financial hole that I could not get out of because I was naive and didn't understand what I was doing. Although I should have, but it is what it is, right? That's why there's over $1 trillion in student loan debt. He's not motivated now. He's most likely not going to be. He's comfortable where he's at. And if you think he's comfortable now, Priscilla, that's the caller, wait until you marry him and your income comes into the house. All right. And he realizes, hey, I got a woman who's going to take care of all this. You may see that $30,000 job disappear.
That bothers me. As a dad of a 31-year-old daughter. If one of my son-in-laws fell in that category, I'd be worried about my daughter.
Yeah. My parents are. They are. So.
And it's not that they think he's a bad person or that he doesn't love Jesus. That's not the point.
Jesus doesn't pay the internet bill. Jesus doesn't pay for your Uber. Right?
The point is that his faith has not caused him to move towards diligence and to move towards excellence in his life and to be all that God has created him to be. He's willing to just sit there and do that one thing. And that doesn't make him a bad guy. It just may make him not a fit for you.
He would be good with another woman who is not highly driven either. They would be a perfect match. If they could each make $30,000, that'd be a $60,000 income. All right. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. There really isn't. Somebody's like, hey, not every one is that motivated. But if you're not that motivated, you probably shouldn't plan on someone who's highly motivated wanting to hook up with you. And don't forget, he's got a $65,000 student loan. So who's going to be paying off that student loan?
I can tell you he wouldn't fit in the Ramsey family if he's not going to better himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really care what he makes.
Could you imagine having Dave Ramsey as a father-in-law? Can you imagine the bedtime stories he must have told his children? There shall be no debt. Now then, turn off the lights. Good night.
I just want to see that he's willing to do something and hustle. But, take it easy. I don't want working extra hours. I'm going to, oh, no, I wouldn't take overtime. Oh, I'm sitting on $60,000 of student loan debt and a car debt.
I know someone in my life who never watches this channel because this channel would be like way over their head. So I never have to worry about that. Absolutely unmotivated in every way possible. Just completely, they'll never see this because they don't watch this stuff. Absolutely unmotivated. Will be the type of person to sit and say, God's going to take care of it all. Just does nothing. And again, that's totally fine, but don't expect to find someone who's highly motivated.
And he's just kind of coasting. That bothers me. That bothers me. So I'm with your mom and dad on that. I'm not trying to break you up, but
no, we're trying kind of would. No tears would be shed if you broke up.
But what would I do if I were? How would I coach you if this was my daughter? I would if I would engagements on the table. I would sit down with a young man and go, dude, this isn't going to work because my daughter's going to kill you. If you don't decide to have some career goals and decide to do something with your life, this is not going to be a fit for you guys.
This is going to be the type of woman, if she marries him, she's going to be calling into the Ramsey show 5 years later crying, okay, saying, we now have $100,000 in student loan debt. My husband lost his job, isn't willing to try hard, isn't willing to work to try to get another one. What do I do? And here the red flags are. The red flags are there.
And so if your dad's not going to do that, you probably need to do it. And you just need to say, I really do care about you. I really do want to move forward, but I'm not going to be okay with you still you doing nothing to better your life. And I'm just not wired that way. And again, it doesn't make him a bad guy. It doesn't make you a financial snob. It just says you're different, and you're going to be nagging him for the next 22 years.
Exactly. She's going to be calling in 5 years from now on the Ramsey show crying because she married this guy that, she has to take care of.
Is how it's going to feel. If he doesn't, now he may say, hey, there's a side of me that in 7 months of dating, I've not really shown you, but here's some.
Nah, he's shown her the real thing. I have no doubt about it. This is the real package.
Things I'm thinking about, and you're right. I do need to do that as an act of my faith. I need to act my faith out in the marketplace in a way that's, diligent, because the diligent prosper. That's in the Bible,
And the diligent get their PSLF loans taken care of too when they follow all the rules.
And so it's not a, you're not a bad spiritual person if you serve with excellence and scratch and claw and go win in the marketplace, because that's biblical. Work is biblical. And so, doing the minimum amount of work and just hanging out is, no.
All right, guys, I'm going to cut this off a few minutes early, expand this out. I think we got the gist of it. I'll be totally honest. I would not be interested in a guy that had absolutely no motivation. Okay. Now, because I am older at this stage, I'm going to be looking, as you get older, you start looking at different areas. It's not necessarily, are you career building at this point? Because at this point we're in our careers. Okay. But it's more of what have you done to, make sure you're going to be solid, in your retirement, in your finances and everything else. And so for me, being, I own my place. I have a solid job. Okay. Pension and plan, yada, yada. All right. I don't care if someone has debt. I really don't. If it's proportional to what they earn, so that between us, it's a debt that's not going to hurt us. I can tell you that in my early 20s, when I was graduating with my bachelor's degree from the University of Oregon, I was dating a guy, the same guy, by the way. I told you guys when this first became a video reaction channel about 2 months ago in September, so maybe 2.5 months ago, when this first became a video reaction channel, it was the guy that told me to park my car outside the carport because the carport could only fit one car. And so he told me to park my car outside the carport. Okay. For those of you that have been at the beginning since this reaction channel started, you probably remember that story. And he told me to park my car outside of the carport because it only fit one and I made less money. So therefore he got the carport and I got to go park outside. Okay. And I accepted that. Now, what's interesting though, is when we finally did break up, yeah, he made more money than me. I think it was like by maybe $4 an hour. Yeah, it wasn't like he was making millions and I was in the poorhouse, okay? Like $4 an hour more he made than me, okay? By the time we broke up, he had lost a lot of ambition. He was just happy working at a t-shirt screening printing shop, and the weight was just, gaining. He was just gaining weight, and I'd come home and just lying on the couch, eating potato chips. And I remember at one point thinking, I wouldn't want to marry that. I have too much ambition. So I think this is definitely not a match. And, she can spiritual walk with him as they sit in the pew at church and sing their songs together and all that. But marry him? No. And again, it's not because he makes $30,000. He makes $30,000, has a $65,000 student loan, $12,000 in car, which the $12,000 in cars, that's, reasonable. Okay. But it's the student loan. It's the lack of ambition, and that, not too attractive if you are a go-getter. All right. So anyways, that is the end of the reaction for I'm worried about my boyfriend's lack of ambition. Priscilla, worry no more. Okay. Those of you who stuck around for that, thank you so much. Those of you who want to stick around for the after chat, let's go ahead and start this. Make this kind of short and sweet, but it's unlock the platinum experience. So I thought I would open this for you because, like I said, this is like the 10th freaking one I've gotten. I was going to throw it away, and I thought, hey, you know what? I'm going to open this, and I'm going to show you Basically what they're offering, because I've only looked at it. I've gotten so many of these bound open every time. Usually I just chuck in the garbage. So honestly, I've only opened it, I think, once. But I thought I would give you kind of an idea that as your credit and your financial situation improves, this is the type of solicitation crap we get in the mail. Okay. And we need to remember high credit score has nothing to do with whether or not people are financially able to pay a bill or whether they're even financially responsible to some extent. You can have a high credit score and be maxed out to the gills. Okay. So I just thought we'd do this for fun. So for those of you who want to stick around, let's go ahead and get started. Okay. Unlock the Platinum Experience by American Express. I got to remember to hold it like this. Okay. First off, I want to tell you, this is, let me move the camera here a little bit there, okay? So this is silky, okay? I mean, we got to remember. Now, if I had been in my 20s and I'd gotten this, I would have fallen for this hook, line, and sinker. I would have thought, American Express loves me. Don't get me wrong. I have 3 American Express cards, okay? American Express loves me. They want me, because when I was in my early 20s, I fell for the gold card, the $5,000 gold card that they pushed around in the 80s that was supposed to be your gift from God, okay? So anyways, this doesn't even feel like regular paper. This must mean I am very important. All right, so we're going to go ahead and look at the back. All right, I'm just going to read the back here to you, okay? I can earn $125,000 membership reward points while I explore everything the American Express Platinum card has to offer. And it says here in the fine print, I'm not used to holding stuff up on camera, way up here, okay? It says, after spending $6,000 on purchases on your card in the first 6 months of card membership. So I have to spend $6,000 to earn $125,000 membership reward points. You know, I always wonder how many people spend $6,000 on crap they don't need to try to get the points. Now, I have cards with points. Don't get me wrong. I have my American Express card. I use it. It's the cheap one that you get for free. It's like the Everyday American Express. It sounds so plain. It's the Everyday American Express. I get about $400 a year in cash back on that. Okay. And I save it up, and then I blow it all at once. It's actually what bought my computer, my 35-inch computer monitor here. So I do use the points, but I don't go into extra debt for something that I don't need. And I certainly don't try to keep up with 6,000. So this is just silk. Look at this, you guys. It's not even regular paper. No, regular paper is for the common people. That's for the commoners. I'm being facetious, okay? You guys should understand this, okay? I'm showing this because I want you to see how ridiculous it is. All right? And people fall for this crap. They fall for it. I would have at one point in my life. Okay, so here. All right. Some of the literature here. Ooh, and the literature. Silky. This is silky. See, when I was younger, this would have told me that I was important. Okay? So let's take a look here. I may have to turn up the light. I have low light issues, so hold on, folks. We're going to turn up the light. I hope it doesn't make the viewing too difficult. Okay, just so I can see a little. Okay, here. Oh, let's take a look. All right, so my APR right here looks like it's 21 to 29% interest. Imagine, folks, I can spend 30% practically, 29.24. Just round it up. It's 30% interest. Doesn't that sound attractive? 30% interest. I can get anywhere from 22 to 30% interest on a card. Wow. This is for the American Express Platinum Experience. That sounds wonderful. Cash advance is just, cash advance, they don't play around. That's almost practically 30 right there. Oh, my penalty is 30%. My cash advance is 30%. Sounds delicious. Let's see. Oh, the annual membership fee. Now, this is the part that I really want people to see. I'm going to see here if I can put a big old green marker around it. Isn't the after chat fun? I just do it whenever I have extra time to kill. It won't. Just whenever I feel like it. All right. Let's take a look at this. Anybody read all this? All right. All right. Here we go. Annual membership. $695 a year. Now, some people say, well, yeah, but that's for rich people. Then why the hell are they sending it to me? I mean, If anybody did a background check on me, I'm a school teacher, for heaven's sakes. Think I got $6,000 to put on a card in 6 months? Okay, so annual membership. I have to read far away because I don't have my reading glasses on. $695 a year. Wow. Huh. So there's that. Let's see what perks I get. Let's open up the little brochure. Oh, look at this. I got some perks. Let's find out real quickly. Guys, I got to turn up the lights some more. I hope it doesn't mess up the viewing on here. Okay, that helps a little bit. I hope this doesn't look too bright on the TV. Okay. Membership rewards. What do I get? I get a $200 hotel credit. Get up to $200 back in statement credit each year on fine hotels. Notice it doesn't say Motel 6 and Super 8. It has to be a fine hotel. Okay? And resorts. My ass ain't ever been to a resort. So most resort I think I've ever been to. I think I went to Disney once, and that wasn't even a resort. That was a hotel in the cheap area of town. That's why I went to Disneyland years ago. Let's see. The hotel collection. That sounds more expensive than I can even afford. Okay, so I have to have a minimum of a 2-night stay. If it's a $200 hotel credit, I'm assuming this hotel is going to be very, very expensive, so that does me no good. Oh, I get $200 in Uber cash, and I get to become an Uber VIP. Please remember, the annual fee is $695. All right? $200 in Uber cash. I can get that. But, of course, there's always a deadline on everything. I'd have gotten my glasses if I had known. I don't have my reading glasses here. Okay. Up to $200 for Uber Eats. I never ever order Uber. I mean, Uber Eats. I never do Uber Eats. I go pick up my own stuff. I plan accordingly. Here's luxury travel. How many teachers had the money to luxury travel? I mean, for God's sakes, I was on PSLF forgiveness. I mean, you know. The Global Lounge Collection. Oh, look at people. If you travel, okay, what is it right there? The luxury travel. Let's read about the Global Lounge Collection. I figure we'll do this for about 5 minutes, and then we'll call it a night. The Global Lounge Collection. The American Express Global Lounge Collection now expands to include more than 43 Centurion lounges and studio locations worldwide. Can provide an escape at the airport. Oh, good God. What happened to just sitting in regular economy class at the airport? You know, and when I'm at the airport late, whenever I travel, sometimes sleeping on a lumpy airport bench. So that's... So I guess I don't have to sit at the airport anymore with the commoners after I pay American Express $700 to do that. I think I'll keep my money. Let's see. I can travel up to $500 on these purchases per calendar year. Okay. So basically you have to spend money to travel, and then you get to stay at those golden doors that you see at the airport. You know, you always wonder who it is that gets to walk behind those special doors that the rest of us common folk just, you know, we're pushing our own luggage. Well, these are the people who get to sit behind those doors. Remember, people, they pay for it, and they have paid dearly for it. Now, I'm not saying there aren't people who can afford it. Clearly, there are people who can afford it. But if you're going for stuff like this, just because you're trying to look like you're rich and you're having to charge it on a card to get it, you probably shouldn't be buying the American Express travel experience. Let's see, what else do they have? Soul cycling at home, bicycle credit, if you want to take soul cycling. There's Equinox credit by $300. See, what's interesting is none of this is stuff I would use. Equinox, Uber Eats, airline travel, luxury resorts and hotels, global dining by Resi. Look, I'm so poor, I don't even know how to pronounce the name because I haven't ever used these high-end stuff. R-E-S-Y, Resi, I don't know. Shop Saks with platinum. Notice it didn't even say Saks Express, or what's that? What's the discounted Saks Fifth Avenue store? Shop Saks. So none of this stuff is useful to me. For me to spend $700 on a credit card, it would have to give me, first off, more than $700 in perks. That's what it would have to. It would have to give me more than $700 in perks and things that I actually use. You know, let's see, grocery shop at Walmart. Okay, buy prescriptions at Publix. Shop at Thornton's. Get your gas at Wawa's. Okay, I gotta go to the everyday stuff. All right, this luxury stuff, nah. So anyways, I thought that would be kind of fun just to kind of show you guys. And again, there are people who can afford it. More power to them. More power to them. But once you start to realize that, you know, a lot of this credit card stuff, guys, it's a game. It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick. And even though I can actually afford the card, sure, I can afford the card $700 a month. I mean, $700 a year. I can't afford all this stuff that I would have to spend money on to get cash back. And remember, when they tell you you're getting $200 back on this and $400 back on that, you don't even start to make anything back, okay, until you start spending this stuff. And first, they have to give you $700 back just for you to break even. So anyways, all right, I thought that was fun. It's time to call it a night. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit Chat. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed our little after talk session. I'll just do that from time to time whenever interesting stuff comes up. I hope you will consider subscribing. You guys have a great Monday night. Bye.